And it was just not Tex-Mex. It was a very tasty, wonderful food that was all brought together by Jyoti Hattarki. And the Texas, you know, when we were looking for a venue, the first thing came to mind was Texas, which is somewhere in the midway, so that the East Coast and the people on the West can come and join. And immediately we had to talk to the people here. And they were very gracious, very open, and they said, okay, we'll find you a venue, we'll take care of the food. And, you know, so truly that was just a godsend to us. And I'm really humbled and honored and, you know, grateful that they took this upon them and helped us out. Although we did the youth, you know, convention was our big idea, but it was the Texas chapter who really helped out every step of the way to do this successful convention. And I hope you all agree with me on this one. So as you all know that we have an all-women team, and also we have Bilva Chandra as a woman here. So I am very proud of that, but they always kept telling me, just stay low, you don't have to keep telling too much. So I didn't even bother to mention their names, and then I said, okay, we need to, you know, talk about it. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And it's the gender equality, that is our basic principle we need to apply. So moving on to the next major, talk, our treasurer has done an excellent work this year. She has used all the accounts, made some changes, and worked with the investment manager to consolidate some of the accounts and make them much more profitable. And she will talk to you more in length about it later on. As you all heard me this morning, I'm very passionate about bridging the gap between the central VSNA and the local chapter presidents. And in my own Northern California chapter, I take every opportunity to tell them all about the central, what is going on and what's happening. And, we want everyone to be included and participate. I also always tell them, not just, you don't have to just participate here. We have so much talent in Northern California, but you should also try to come to Central and be part of Central Board, be the part of the Regents Board, and make your voices heard. So I'm always encouraging and having them on some panels as judges, on committees, and so even you, all board members, and please talk about the Central at your own local chapters. And then we also had suggestions from some of them that we should also, just move around to different chapters, the VSNA officers and the board members. So anytime we get an opportunity, we will do so and we will consider that. And thank you for those good points that we had yesterday at the joint BOD-BOR meetings. So the next presentation is the youth chapter report by Bilva.
So Bilva Chandra is our youth president. Bilva, she'll mention about the youth involvement and the goals for 5 minutes.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. I want to keep this brief just because we have a huge itinerary here, but in terms of, so I mentioned this before in my speech earlier today, and I have 3 very specific goals for the future of the youth organization that we have here, and they all start off with the 3 C's. So the first one is charitable giving, the second one is career opportunities, and the third one is coordination, which goes with the charitable giving and with the career opportunities. So essentially, the number one problem that I've found thus far is that we have a lot of youth, but we always have trouble connecting them because they come from different states We don't have their contact information. It's very hard to reach all the youth across North America. So I think the number one thing that I want to focus on is firstly, just making sure that everybody's connected. So this convention is a really good way for me to do that in terms of getting everyone's contact information, phone numbers, emails. But essentially, I want to be able to create a huge listserv email that I can send out with any information for the youth. So I think it's very important for the chapter presidents to also get involved in this to make sure that they have all of the youth's information within their chapter so that they can send it to me and make it a lot easier to streamline this process. So that goes along with the coordination. In terms of career opportunities in management, a lot of us, as I'm sure many of you know, we want to look for jobs, we're interested in internships, and I feel like we can do a lot more networking here, and there's a great wealth of opportunity for us, especially with all of the adults here. A lot of you are in very promising careers, and you have a lot of knowledge to offer to us, so that's definitely something we can tap in. And charitable giving, we all know VSNA is very important for charity, not only as a nonprofit organization, but giving back. Something that we used to, or we still do, in the New Jersey chapter is we always have food drives, clothing drives, bake sales, all to donate to different charities. So in terms of this, what I was thinking was, it would be great if we could empower each youth chapter at local, like in local state chapters, to have their own charity drives amongst themselves. So organize all this on their own without any help from their parents, completely youth-driven charity. And maybe as the youth organization, as a national youth organization, we can all decide on one charity per year, for example, to decide where we want our money to go and where we can maximize our impact. So that's my other idea for charitable giving. And the last thing I want to mention is something else that's been on my mind lately, but I was thinking that it would be really cool to have a newsletter that we would have quarterly throughout the year. And within this newsletter, we would showcase different charity activities that we're doing at local chapters, showcase even great things like achievements that our youth are doing, like getting a certain job or going into a certain industry or people going to college. It's definitely something that keeps us all connected and make sure that we're celebrating all the achievements of our local Virsheva youth. So I think that creating a newsletter that we could have quarterly at each local function every year, but having a national newsletter that we could send out to all of the youth, hopefully once we get their information, and all the chapter presidents as well, to make sure that all the chapters are involved with their youth and to make sure that everyone is aware of what's happening. But yeah, so that is my, those are my 3 overarching goals, but please let me know if you have any questions about them or if you would like to talk to me. I'd love to engage in more discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Karuna Hiremat, Treasurer Report.
Hello. Sharanu Sharanarthi. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Karuna Hiremat, and I'm the treasurer for 2017-2018 VSNA treasurer. So before I begin, let me take this opportunity to thank my team, Lakshmi, Leena and Savita, and our previous committee, Channu and his team, and also the seniors of this organization who have guided and helped me by giving this opportunity to serve my community. Thank you all. Today I will be presenting the 2016 financial statement as well as the 2017 from January through May. The financial statements are enclosed in each of your registration bags, and I hope some of you got the opportunity to go through them. If not, we have a few copies here which you can take a look at it. And please keep all your questions till the end so that we can start the presentation here. Yeah. As I begin, I would like to also give you share a brief changes, some of the changes we made this year with our accounts. Basically, we have accounts in PNC Bank, and our investment accounts are at Morgan Stanley. If you can see on your screen, in 2016, we basically had 4 accounts.
Karuna, can you just tell them to go to the next slide or whatever?
If you can see on your screen, the 2016 VSNA at PNC, we had 4 accounts, the checking and the savings account, and we had a VSNA VIRC account and a VSNA student scholarship CD. This is in 2016. And the next screen, and at Morgan Stanley, we also had 4 accounts. You also have in your, yeah, I will do that in a minute. Yes, yes. And in 2016, in the Morgan Stanley, we had the VSNA Convention Trust account, that is our biggest account. And then also we had the Convention Trust Fund 1, 2, and also a Board of Regents account in 2016. If you can flip the next one. And in 2017, as far as our PNC Bank, we have the same checking, savings, and also the scholarship CD. But in the VIRC, we closed that account. And only now just for this convention, we have the account for the 2017 convention, which after we balance, that account will be gone. So it's just for the temporary, we have opened the convention account. This is at the PNC. And the 2017 at Morgan Stanley, this year, instead of 4 accounts as we had in 2016, we have only 2 accounts. We narrowed it to 2. The VSNA Convention Trust basically consists of all the donations. Anything related to the Convention Trust Fund goes into the Convention Trust Fund account. And the second one, instead of having the Convention Trust, the Trust Fund 1, 2, and the Board of Regents, we combined into just one account called Trust Fund 1. Here we have all the donations, any life membership that we received during the year, and also any additional working capital which is not needed in the PNC, we push it to here because we can make much more, income out of in the investment account. Because previously, when the money used to sit at PNC Bank, for a whole year, we used to get less than $5, believe me or not, for the whole year. And by moving into the extra balance, by moving into the Morgan Stanley, we are looking into somewhere between 6.5% to 7.5% consistently every month we have been getting there. So that was one of the reasons we moved the cash and consolidated accounts so that, and also it looks much cleaner now so that we have less confusion here. And now if we can look at the screen for the 2016 financial statement, take a moment and look at it. The 2016 financial statement. The 2016 one. Yes. Then after that, we have yeah, you also have it in your handouts too. The 2016. And then we have the 2017 from January through May. And if you can flip the pages in the 2017, you also have the investment account. For this year, just from January through May, we have made a total income of 30,000 plus in just the investment account, just for the last 5-6 months. So as of now, at the Morgan Stanley Bank, we have about $623,272.29. That's just in the Morgan Stanley account. And in the PNC account, we have 15,659 as of May 31st. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to.
So my name is Yuvraj Patil. The question on VIRC, you said you removed the account. So what does that mean? Does fund is...
The fund was transferred to the Morgan Stanley account from the PNC, yes.
Okay, but...
To the trust fund 1.
But the fund would be dedicated and marked as VIRC funds.
No. It's just under everything under the trust fund 1.
Okay.
If any time any need is there, we can always withdraw from that account.
A trust fund 1 means VIRC account.
No. Trust
Okay.
fund 1 consists of all the balance, anything above balance which we do not need in PNC account, plus any life membership dues we get during the year, and anything else is all included in the trust fund 1.
Yeah, but what's the rationale behind taking out the VIRC account? You need a funds for, I mean, the funds were raised for VIRC purposes, and funds was designated to be used for VIRC purposes. Now if you mix it with everything else, then how do you know what's what?
No, it was not like, I think you have, it was in the previous one. I think Chanu might answer this
For
much
many
better.
years, VIRC account, we did not know what to use it for. It was never used for many, many years. It has been lying there for many years. So we thought, let's merge it into the Convention Trust Fund. And if there is a need, we can still borrow from our current account, if there is a need. Sorry? Veerashaiva Research
Veerashaiva International
sorry.
Resource Center.
Resource Center. See, it was formed earlier because we never really used it. The money was sitting there. So in fact, it was discussed, I think, last general body also, to start using it in a useful manner. So that's how it got transferred into one. And I think Prabhakar, I think you were also asking, why do we have 3 convention trust funds? So we all merged everything into one. So that's what the...
The only thing we are trying to keep away is the convention trust fund separate.
We had the confusion because the treasurer was not able to explain what are various trust funds. That's why the confusion came.
Yeah. So basically, it was a confusion. Because the fund raise happened different times, they were just kept separately. So there is no need to keep that way.
I have got a question with respect to the convention. Now we have got 2 convention trust funds. Number 3466. Yeah. Now, regarding the accounts under Morgan Stanley, I see that there's one VSNA Convention Trust Fund, the number 3466. And it has a the balance was $341,000 odd. And then additional investment in the 5 months was $23,000, right?
Actually, it is in the last Maryland convention, we were able to raise 39,503. From the 39,503, when we released for this convention, the 16,218 12 cents for the seed money. So that is.
Before you let us interpret the way we see it.
Hello, hold your mic.
Okay, I will just tell you how we understand this. Yeah. What I can see, perhaps I'm speaking for all of us here, what we understand from the statement is, as of January 1st, 2017, the main convention trust fund had a balance of 341,367.93.
Yes.
And then you got an item called invested. From the up to 31st of May, you invested additional $23,000.
No, we invested the way how Morgan Stanley sends, what we invested into that account was 39,503, which was raised during the 2016 convention in Maryland towards the convention trust, which the money was raised. And the way how Morgan Stanley does that, from 39,503 what we invested, because they released for this convention the seed money of 16,218 and 12 cents, they take it only as 23,000. Basically, it was 39,503. And then for the last 5 months, we made earnings of 22,595. And whenever we earn, it keeps getting reinvested back. So for 2018 convention, the way how they do, just the interest and dividends of this whole year of 2017 is what we release for the next convention as seed money.
Okay. Now it's quite clear now.
I know, I
Coming
did
to
ask,
the
I did
next
ask the
one.
Morgan Stanley, they say when they say invested, only what we have currently is what they take. When they release the seed money, they deduct from that part.
Maybe better would have been to put the entire 39,000 next item, seed money, $16,000.
I understand, sure.
Yeah. Now coming to the next trust fund.
Next
trust fund,
Yeah. I
you
know,
showed balance was $63,273
right,
and 16 cents,
yes.
but you were able to invest additional $165,318. How come this is such a great?
You know why, Adam? Because in the past committee, when Chanu's team, when they had kept the PNC, if you go back and look at the page earlier, they had a balance of 79,000 sitting in the PNC account where we earned, as I said, less than $5 for a whole year. That's why we had to remove the money from that account and put it here so that we can constantly get additional income, somewhere from 6.5 to 7.5%, rather than getting for a whole year $5. If you can see in that account, we made earnings of 7,432 rather than $5 what we used to do in 2016. That was one of the purpose. If you go back and look,
That is 79,000, but it's 165,000.
yeah, because we also consolidated the trust fund 3, which we narrowed it, and it had about 57,000 in that. And there was this Board of Regents, the 4th account when I showed you in the earlier
Yeah.
screen. The other 2 accounts, the Board of Regents had 6,000 in odd, and the trust fund 3 had 57,000, which was just sitting like cash. So we started putting everything to invest so that we can start making money.
What was the purpose of trust fund 3?
That I think Channu or Irappa has to answer. The past one I don't.
See, like I mentioned, trust fund 1, 2, 3, they were all collected probably at different timings and they remained separate.
The previous investment committee, what they did, right? So they organized, the convention trust fund was all the earning going to the convention. The trust fund 1, mainly like it is invested in preferred stocks. And convention trust fund 3 was more on like mutual fund equity and all. That is how like kind of divided. The purpose is basically like to balance the risk. So preferred stock, equity.
Let me answer. The purpose of the convention trust fund is the original purpose, which is 90% of, that is the purpose, no other purpose. All are same. All are same. 90% of the earnings. Oh, I see. Then do you know the purpose?
Purpose, as I said, right? Only like a certain amount, it was dedicated for the convention trust, like whatever the amount raised. So it put it in the convention trust fund. The earning, 90% of the earning goes to the, goes as a seed money to the convention. Earnings. Then the convention trust fund 2, as I said, it is invested in preferred stock. They collected the donation, like the membership, life membership and other donations. They collected and invested in preferred stocks.
What was it meant to be used for?
It's VSNA account, it's nothing, it's just for the earnings originally meant for like day-to-day operational expenses, operational expenses.
Operating expenses.
Right. Okay. And then the third one is kind of same. Yeah.
What was the purpose of that?
Third one, like it's kind of the same thing. So it's just invested in stocks. So the earnings, again, it accumulates within that account.
Mr. Prabhakar Aure, you know, like you, even we were confused when we talked. That's why we wanted to narrow and clean it up. So moving forward, we just have one convention trust which only related to the convention goes into that account, and the trust fund one, all other earnings, if we fall short in our PNC, we can always withdraw from here. And as you said, for the VIRC, we can withdraw from here. So we just cleaned it up and put the rest of it in the trust fund one.
Just a quick note,
Malari?
we only have 10 minutes more.
the purpose
Swamiji
is
is here to
basically-
start the Anubhava Goshti.
Are you following what it was meant for even when you change for some other purpose? That is the whole point of the question. First time you say that I'm getting the money for a purpose A. Now you say that I want to use it for convention funds. Are you breaking any of the earlier promises? That's what we're trying to find out. I don't know now, because you're telling me what you're doing with the fund. You're not explaining why the fund was created, how you, and what
See,
promise you
the
collected
investment
the funds.
committee, I think nobody is here in the, from the investment committee here.
Hold on. Let me answer this question. No, we don't have to know. Right now, we have only 2 years members.
JP, hold the mic, please.
We have only 2 years committees, last year and this year. We don't know the history. So we are trying to dig the history. No point in digging the history based on the time. Educate means that they might have made educate, they might have meeting, committee meeting. Based on that, they might have did it. So,
And I would have to interrupt here because in the interest of time, any questions you have, we will follow up. Please send us an email or we will take it offline. We will respond. As we said, the committee has been here new and we don't know the history, but we will try to find out and we will get you the answers. And because the action item we can take.
One nimsha, Tadri. As a committee, previous leaders, previous officers and current officers, we do know the history. Right now, there is a miscommunication. So what we need to do is, previous officers and the current officers has to go back and put together a note and then communicate to the officers. We cannot say that we don't have, we don't know, right? We do know, but as a team, we're going to go back. We thought that we'll just present the report and show it to the committee, and we do see some of the interest, some of the information needed. We'll put together and communicate to that. That would be the right answer. Is that right?
you.
Okay.
Sure.
We
Thank
will
you.
do that. We will do that.
Yeah, may I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
May I make a suggestion? When you put a number here, that number should be arrived at. See, the explanation you gave, I took 29,000 and gave back 16,000, whatever. That should be written somewhere else. Then your head carried forward to this. So that's how generally done. So you don't have to explain it. It should be in the piece of paper. And my second question, are you using a qualified accountant to look at these accounts?
Yeah, in the Morgan Stanley, which is being set up from 2007, the same person.
No, for VSNA purposes,
Yeah.
maintaining of the books of accounts, after you have done as a treasurer, do you get any advice, help from a qualified accountant? How do you-
Yes.
So has he gone through this? No, I'm not talking about auditing, just book of accounts.
No, we have just given it now because,
So these are not audited accounts.
no, this was presented in the BOD,
No.
BOR in the previous meeting.
Now, hold on. When VSNA general body, audited accounts are submitted, audited accounts are submitted, general body approves the audited account, then it becomes legal. So if this is already approved, the auditor's signature should be here. So then general body authorizes the board of directors and the president to submit this to the federal government. So is this audited? Is this approved? So if so, what are the auditor's remarks and reports? And if you have it, good. If you don't have it, please keep it on the file. See, you cannot give by memory. You cannot ask him to come. He has done his job. And very soon, Chandra will not be there.
He will answer.
No need to answer. This is a suggestion. Take it and go forward. I have no question here.
2016 is already audited. right?
Yeah, sure, ma'am, like we can certainly consider that one. And
Say again?
we collected the statements from all the chapters, previous year history. Like that is, ma'am, like how we kind of come up with the statement. So that statement is presented to the POD.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
We're talking about 2016.
Yeah.
2016 accounts are audited.
Okay, it's a very quick answer.
And the auditor says, okay, you are clear.
Nalodare, it's very simple. 2016, what you are seeing in the file there, 2016, it is audited, it is already filed with the IRS. It is filed, if you want to see the signature, we can get you that. It is approved by the,
Yeah.
we have it in.
No, 2016, we have already given to the auditor, and only one chapter did not give on time with repeated asking. So we have just taken an extension, but everything is in already taken care as long as the filing the tax for the 2016. Excuse me?
Karnavale, if you give me 2 minutes, going back, if my memory doesn't fail me, there's specific reasons why we established Trust Fund 2, Trust Fund 3. At one time, the operational expenses were not being met, you see, by the membership. Then they established Trust Fund 2, if my memory doesn't fail me. The purpose of the fund was to meet the operational expenses of the executive committee. I forgot what was